Hello, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting started here really quite quickly. There we go, bring that up. It should be an interesting turn. It's going to be one of those turns where we're going to have to see how results turn out. Like all turns, I know. But it's going to be intriguing. I'm hoping for success around Rangoon. I don't know, we'll see. I was somewhat hoping that they would have had potentially more time to burn fatigue, but I think it's one of these where we've got to get going now. Got to get it moving. Got to get stuff flowing, essentially. We've got a lot of progress to really catch up on, so we've just got to get moving there. Hello there, Jonathan. Indeed, why must I wait? Hello there, Richard. Good to have you, my friend. Gil, good to see you, my friend. You look to be a new viewer here, actually. Good to see you. Alexander, seeing you more often. That's good. Sasha, where you been? Hello there, Zavinia. My favourite penguin. Hello, Joshua. Brannick, good to see you guys. So it is turn 15. Radar homing artillery shells. That's cool. Hello there, Abaddon, good to have you. Hello, Finish, and Christian, good to see you, my friend. And we've only just started, in fact. Hello, Norbert, and Anno, good to see you guys. Now, I'm going to be intrigued to see what happens. I'm hoping that things do go correctly. We are going to be sweeping at Rangoon. We're also going to attempt to try and hit some of the shipping there. Hey, doing there, Frank, good to have you, my friend. And hello there, Truth, good to see you as always. There's not that much going on really at this moment in time. So we'll see. Oh, we've occupied the Isle of Pines. That's a good one there. Hey, doing that, Jonathan? I like that excuse there, Jonathan. I like that. Thank you very much there, Zeph. I'm hoping for it. Yeah. Feeling the anxiety, because I don't want things to go wrong. We'll see. Right, Task Force 5 has merged. And we are moving our forces towards Palembang as well, so we can see those guys retreating there. They are critically damaged. It looks like he has brought some PT boats back towards Palembang. So they might be hounded by the PT boats. It depends really. I don't know if he's actually seen them. I don't think they had detection over them. Though actually I think they did. I can't recall at this moment in time. But it does not look to have actually tried to intercept them. Right, so see Spearfist attacking. Okay. Hit by no explosion, so it's a good thing. Hit by no explosion again. Wow. And misses. And misses. And hits but no explosion. And she uses her deck guns. And misses. And hits. Oh my god. And misses. And what? What? Oh my god. What? How does she keep missing? Oh my god. There's actually PBs headed out to link up. My god! How could you have such poor accuracy? Holy... Jesus Christ! Actually... How many torpedoes were launched? Oh my god, hello there, Icy. Good to have you. I cannot believe that. My god, that was... How many torpedoes? Did anybody get a count of that? Low on gun... Jesus, did she just spend all her ammunition there at once? That must be the worst, absolute worst performance by any submarine we have ever seen. I've never seen it being that poor. I've never seen them launch that many torpedoes. Jesus Christ. And she hit 5 times with the deck gun, but even then she ran out of ammunition. Jesus. I've never seen it as bad. It's just like torpedo after torpedo after torpedo. Hits but no explosions. Jesus. Oh my god, that was horrific there. Yeah. And so we have the APDs going aboard, sort of going ashore over here at Sandpit. We'll take that base. And then we'll move on to the next one, to Ketapang. They're good as well, so there could be potential troops to move into Palembang if we need to. Oh my god, I know. That was just torpedo after torpedo after torpedo. That was just insane. I've never seen that. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, Spearfish comes back later on in the day. I did that 80. Well, we've just seen the worst display of just... I don't even know what you call it. It's like gunnery, except with torpedo. Worst display from a submarine I've ever seen there. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible, my god. Okay, so we are suspecting submarines out there. Okay. Still seeing those ships out there at Rule Island. Raula. Lead sub-commander. Yeah, armed with spears and not torpedoes. Jesus, I cannot believe that. Yeah, throw the harpoons. They must have been down to throwing the cutlery. Okay, so sweeping over here at Singapore. I did actually bring the carrier 43s that were at Johor Bahru, and I've decided to use them to sweep Singapore to make sure that we can actually get there. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. We're going to be bombing Singapore. I'm going to be increasing the intensity of bombing Singapore as we go on. Right, okay, so we go through and we bomb Surabaya with no reprisals, which is not a bad thing at all. I do worry that it will move fighters out here to Surabaya, but it doesn't seem to be doing that at this moment in time, so I'm going to take advantage of that. A few runway hits there is not a bad thing at all. So we are approaching over here. Okay, so there's no response here, actually. We have 4 G4s going in here against the Floridian, and they don't do anything, actually. Okay, a little bit of a letdown there. But a little bit surprising. We have 66 A6M2s going in here. Okay, so this is quite a mixed bag. So we have P-39s, we have Blenheims, we have H-81s, Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are nasty. P-40Es are particularly nasty. Firing from behind and the Blenheim. But this is going to be a big battle, it seems then. Hopefully we come out of this well, but we'll have to see. How you doing there, Stanislav? Good to see you, my friend. We did change the rules regarding altitude, so we're going in here at 31,000 feet, where the Zero actually does have a decent amount of maneuverability at about 20 odd. I think it's about 21, in fact. Okay, so we lose a Zero there, unfortunate. Okay, so he's up higher there. He's at 32 and 35, but he should have a real dramatic drop in maneuverability. That's where we actually do quite well at 31,000 feet, because we still have a pretty good deal of maneuverability. Okay, the Aerocobra is going to do absolutely awful at altitude, but even then, she can still hit like a bloody truck. So we'll have to be quite careful. Yep, 1 trails away. I'm going to speed this up and see how we go on. There's a lot of aircraft involved here. Hopefully we'll come out on top, but we can't be certain, really. Yeah, it's a big battle here, but we can replace the losses. Albeit it is difficult to do for us, but we're looking at 5 zeros there to... I mean, this is it. Obviously, these are just initial numbers, but 5's not too bad there. Could have been worse, but there might yet be more losses. But at least 1 H-81, at least a Blenheim, at least 3 P-39s, P-39s, and at least 3 P-40s, which isn't too bad. Not as great as I was hoping for, but we'll have to see, really. There could yet be more losses there. So we have the Oscars. We have a pair of Oscars and a trio of Tojos. A duo of Oscars going in there? Possibly so. The issue is they did have a fair amount of fatigue. I did want to get that burnt off, but I wanted to make sure we could actually go out there to start hitting. It seems like we came out well enough. 5's not ideal. We'll have to see what the true numbers look like when we actually get into the day. One being shot down by flags, not exactly ideal. I'm going to increase the amount of actual bombers hitting Singapore here shortly. My god, they like to go in pairs. I think it's because they were split into groups of 3 and they seem to split themselves up even further than that. He does have shipping around Port Blair. This is what I was afraid of. Yep. Okay, so these G4s are probably going to go in for a bad time. They do make it through. What do we find here then? An AK. Not exactly amazing. Flak. We do get a torpedo in there. I was hoping for a warship. We do see shipping over here. We see shipping over here at Port Blair. Not ideal, so we do lose a couple aircraft there. We do shoot down a Warhawk, which is not too bad. We get a torpedo in there. Not exactly great, not exactly the best targets there to hit, but the good news is at least we actually get it underway. We start the operation, essentially. We say, right, okay, this is what we can do. He's going to have to react to that. He's going to have to take that into consideration there, really. Something's just sank there. Might have been the AK that we did, in fact, hit, but we'll see. Also, has been reported there. Shipping at Darwin, which is intriguing. Right, still seeing those submarines at Port Moresby. Yeah, it looks like submarines are trailing over there. Okay, which is not too surprising. How long until the R&D in production is something close to acceptable? It's not that far away. It's not that far away. R&D is going to be an interesting one, though. Also, we'll have to take a look at that. I'm not as familiar with it as it used to be. So we see Trieste over here. Torpedo into the Trieste, which is good. Whether they're carrying torpedoes, the second torpedo, sorry, whether they're carrying supply or not, I'd like to think they were carrying supply in here, but we'll have to see. How you doing there, Andy? It keeps supply low in Burma. That's absolutely true. We do have it a little bit easier due to the fact that we have taken a decent amount of territory over here in China. I'm going to be pushing on Rangoon shortly. We're going to have to be quite smart how we do that. It is going to be a tricky one due to the fact that he's had all this additional time, but we'll be able to see and manage it. He does have forces in Rangoon, but we'll just have to see. We're just going to have to take our time with them, try and burn them down. Probably will come in China, while we try and cut him off. But as far as it goes in China, I mean, he's bringing in 500 supply each turn, sure, with the Burma Road. But how much is he burning? How much is being thrown away by having, what, 500,000 men in a really small area that can only, well, a base that can only handle, like, what, 8k supply at max? Obviously not all 500k or 300 or whatever it is in that same hex, but they're around the same area. So we are bombarding at Singapore, and we're waiting for the 38th Division to arrive here. So we'll go ahead and speed that up, because that'll take an awfully long time otherwise. We're not too far away from the fall of Singapore now, which is good. Probably will still take 2 attacks with the 38th Division, but I do not think it's too far away now. Yeah, Rangoon's a trap. Well, I would have taken Port Blair. Oh, that's actually a really encouraging result there. Huh. Interesting. That's actually not bad at all. That's actually surprisingly good. Yes, I mean, that's what I've been looking towards, really, is moving around, something of maneuver warfare. So we do see the 14th Chinese Corps over here. We do have 3 divisions, the 6th, the 110th, and the 32nd. The terrain's not ideal here. We do have a 23rd Army as well. So they're not pushed out. It's going to take some time to push them out. We have 1,500 casualties. He has 500. This is to be expected. I think this is either ×2 or ×3 terrain, but it looks like a ×3 terrain hex. So what we are going to have to do here, then, is keep attacking. I could even potentially go for a bombardment attack, but what we want to do here is wait for his supply to give. He's not going to have enough supply to really keep this going. He might, but then this is a good situation for us as it drains supply. But they're 853, not exactly great numbers, but this is 1 core, it will be degraded. At least we know what we're dealing with over here now. So we do actually manage a deliberate attack at Nanyang. I didn't think we'd actually manage to do that. Interesting. Okay, that is actually rather surprising. I was almost sure that they were going to be out of Nanyang by this turn. I would have put money on that. So you see a good few cores. We are fighting in open terrain. We will have potential reinforcements. We do potentially have reinforcements close by as well, so we'll see how we do. But any time that we get to, any chance that we get to attack the Chinese out in the open is actually good for us. So that's 1,021. We throw him out of Nanyang. Recaptured Nanyang, but that's good. So he's actually on the back foot here pretty heavily now. He does have forces over here, of course, but I can bring in the additional 59th Division and the 2 infantry regiments potentially this way as well. The 23rd Group Army surrenders, wow. That's not exactly ideal. But they're thrown out of Nanyang. I didn't think we'd get that attack there. Did not think we'd get that. Fort level 0, unsurprisingly. So we suffer there, 2661. There should be a headquarters in the area. But then again, I'm misremembering things due to the other game. I'm sure there's a headquarters in this area. We should have had something planned in for here, but doesn't seem like it. And that's 17,000 casualties. That's a spicy meatball. That's a spicy meatball indeed. So that's 413 destroyed, 22 disabled, 676 destroyed, 28 disabled, 102 destroyed, 3 disabled, 41 destroyed, 34 disabled. He really, wow. For 11 destroyed, wow. That went well. That went well, yeah. Leaders plus, experience minus. I mean, this is it. They were in the right move mode as well. Looks like they were in combat mode moving out of here. But this is a problem fighting in clear terrain. But that was really, that was a surprisingly good result there, in fact. That went very well. Okay, we do have our deliberate attack over here at Gagain. Probably not going to succeed, but I should have... Yes, the 65th Brigade has arrived over here as well. We're going to have to keep attacking here until we can actually force him out. So we'll attack, probably wait 2-3 days, allow them to recover as many days as required, and then we'll attack again. I think he's low on supply. He'll probably have enough supply for this battle. We're probably going to have bad casualties here, but we'll have to do it again. And then we'll wait and do it again until we finally take Gagain. Gagain, Mindanao really has been a stain on our honor in this campaign. It's one thing that we definitely have learned a lesson from. If you're going to go ahead and try and take something, make sure you bloody well do it properly. Don't half-arse it, because things do not work out when you half-arse it. But we'll go ahead and see, but I'm pretty impressed by the 17k. I mean, the Chinese forces, so you will get them back, but even so, that's still quite a lot of losses there. So we'll go ahead and take a look then. 5th Independent SLF attack in here. There's a few units with no. It's most of the 102nd PA. They're Filipino troops, so they don't have a huge amount of experience nor morale, but they're still tough enough. And this is it ×2 terrain or ×3 terrain? I think it's ×2 terrain, would it probably be in jungles, but I could be wrong, I'd have to double check that. I know it's not exactly expedient terrain for attacking, for the offensive. Very good for the defensive, though. You can see our forces have taken a pounding as well, but the 65th Brigade is here as well. Yeah, it's going to be one of those where we're going to have to probably rest and continue as we are, really. Okay, we'll speed things up, take a look at it. Yeah, unsurprising, 492 to 307. We had 1 to 2 orders, he's got fort level 2, so we'll probably have... Okay, that's actually... that's much better than I thought it was going to be. 806 is actually not that bad. Is it ×2 terrain? I thought it was jungle, in fact. So it's 11, or is it urban light? It looks like it might be jungle. So it's 11 destroyed, 6-7 disabled. Not that bad at all, really. So, yeah, not bad at all. So 11 combat squads, 2 non-combatants. They can be recovered in time. Experience, it's not showing supply, but I don't imagine it's going to have a lot. That's actually a really good result there. 560, but he had 27 destroyed, 35 disabled, 4 destroyed, 1 destroyed, 1 destroyed. Him actually having destroyed is good. He's not going to have that much left in the barrel, so that's actually a really good attack then, Erkkijuusto. Surprisingly good attack, Erkkijuusto. Right, he's actually bombarding. I was actually sure. I felt like he was going to attack over here. But it seems he's being cautious, which is understandable. He might not actually know if this was like a brigade or a division, so that doesn't make sense. So we have 19 casualties there, 1 squad destroyed. He has 1 disabled. He's got a lot of AV. He can definitely kick that out of the hex, I'd imagine, but it is going to cost him being ×3 terrain. There is a 2nd brigade marching here. I do not know if it'll arrive in time, but we'll see about that. He may get cold feet. Okay, so I'm bombarding over here at Ambon. Ambon's been a nasty one. I need to actually get support over there. But I'm trying to expend his supply. Well, deplete his supply. Okay, so... pretty interesting turn. Gazmata goes to size 2. Luganville, size 2 port, which is actually really good there. Even a size 2 port makes a tremendous amount of difference versus a size 1. I'm not going to expand the port size beyond 2 for the time being. But even being larger than a 1, it makes a big difference. It means we can deal with bloody searchlights and crap like that. Those tower detectors like searchlights are a pain in the backside. Also, certain pieces of artillery. I think every piece of artillery can unload in a size 2 port, ideally. But it does speed things up as well, so it's not a bad thing to have there, really. When is the next attack on Port Moresby coming? I was going to do it today. I was very much considering attacking today, but I thought, you know what, we've got a bombardment force underway. It should probably arrive about tomorrow. We can double check that, but it should be there tomorrow. So what I think I'm going to do is, rather than attack and wait, is attack and have a bombardment to coincide, so at least we inflict the maximum amount of damage there, really. The BBs that were part of that bombardment are actually on their way down to meet the combined fleet. I'm sending about, I think it's about 4 or 5 heavy cruisers. It's a decent chunk of force. Take a look at the aircraft losses then. So 13, not exactly ideal, but he has 7 Warhawks gone, 6. These are rough numbers, by the way. These numbers are accurate for us. So 13 here, but no operational losses, which is good. 7, 6, 2. So not amazing, but he did have Blenheims in here. HH1s, a very mixed bag. The issue is when going against things like that is he is able to have different aircraft at different altitudes, which can make things harder. Right, so there's apparently aircraft over here at Pegu, but there's 57. So it did inflict some damage, that's good. Not really as well as I wanted it to go, but then this is a case of having that fatigue. So what we'll do then is give them that time to rest, give them that time to recuperate, and then we'll be able to move back in there. How many did he have in total? He had a decent number of aircraft. But not too bad. He didn't attack over here at Port Blair, which is actually quite interesting and really, really good. They had something like 70-odd fatigue, I think it was last turn. Or I might be thinking of something else, but that fatigue's dropped dramatically, which is good news. I do need to get supply in here, but they can keep on fighting for the time being. He may look to attack. He's got 2 units over here. We did see the Viper Battalion, I think it was. LCT and a DD, okay. 4 aircraft over here. How many pilots did we lose? Pilot replacements. Can I see where we lost today? I forgot what we see there now. Aircraft losses. I forget where you see it now. Oh, here we go, yes. So 5 missing in action today. 2 wounded in action, 6 killed in action, so not too bad there. Yeah, so round about that. If he stands up a goo, you can destroy the Burmese core. Just make sure you have armor ready to pursue. Indeed, yes. We're going to have to get those forces out there. We do have a lot of armor in China. The thing is, with that armor in China, is going to run out of real utility in China at some point in the near future. There's a lot of armor that can be actually shipped out of China that can be moved to Burma, for example. So it's not too terribly long until we actually reach that point. So if I take a look over here then, so they're not gonna, yeah, they're not gonna reach it in time. There's no real way they'll do that. It depends though. He knows there's about 200 AV there, which is gonna fight like 600 odd in the terrain. It's not an ideal situation for him. It's not a bad situation for us if he attacks us. But then again, it depends. It could go very heavily in his favour. These divisions, though, did fantastically well there, to be honest. They did fantastically well. That definitely hurt. So he does have these units over here. I think what we need to do then, and it's a shame, but we do have armour on its way. But I don't think it would arrive in time. It should be over here. Yes, the armoured regiments are over here. They're being packed. I don't think they'd arrive in time. That's the only issue there. But I think what we do then is we pursue. The road is now open, but I think that's kind of backfired on him. But this is it. You just don't want to move into open terrain. It's just not. It's not good. I don't think he really had the supply there. Now we are seeing some. That's 4k supply. I would have to take a look at the amount of supply that we had in Nanyang before it was lost, because I don't think it was that much. If that's captured supply, we'd have to take a look at that one. That's something I'm going to have to take a look at some point in the future. But if that's actually captured supply, that would be quite nice, actually. That would be a double sting there. We didn't see anything about him having low supply, which is intriguing. But perhaps we did capture supply. It would make sense that he wasn't complaining, because there is a decent chunk here. And I don't think it was mine to begin with. I don't think we had that much in the base, because otherwise I would have been probably a little bit more upset. What I could potentially do then is try and look to bring in some bombers out to the north here, potentially bomb those forces, try and keep them in combat mode, and try and prevent them from actually leaving the area. But what we'll do then is we'll set all these forces to march. There we go. We do have the regiments over here as well, which I could take a look at doing, but I'll do that a little bit later on, likely when I'm doing the summary. But yeah, 1,500 casualties over here is not too bad. I mean, what is that, times 3 terrain? Yeah, that's times 3 terrain, so that's going to be a obstacle. But it's one that can be dealt with. There are additional forces moving this way. A way to deal with that might be just go for bombardment. He has 71 guns versus the 315 that we have here of various calibers and various actual designations. But trying to force him to use supply is not a bad thing. Okay. Not a bad turn. Not a bad turn. So your bombs destroy that? Yes. Probably not a bad idea. Oh, the one over here at BLeACHACiD? Perhaps so. So he does have all these AKs here. How you doing there? Bananas? Bananas? I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that. But good to have you, my friend. Okay. Either way, the rank gun attack didn't go as well as really expected. Well, really as well as would have been hoped for. It didn't go as poorly as expected, which is a good thing. We took casualties, well, we took losses, but not bad. We have obviously laid out a message here, which is good. Obviously, what we'll do then is continue this as a campaign then. Yes, ship's loss I'll show right now. So, ship sunk last turn, so it's identifying the Trieste, which obviously went down. Yeah, she's worth 9. She's equivalent more or less to the Aiden, but the Aiden's worth a little bit more there. Pretty similar ships, really. So we did have the bombardment over here, which actually was pretty decent as well. Will you be sending reinforcements to Port Blair? Possibly. It's a difficult one, really, regarding Port Blair, because we'd have to use either transportation aircraft or, obviously, ships, but ships will take time. Well, look, I'm quite glad that the amount of... Well, then again, I don't think I could send reinforcements that weren't paratroopers. If we were to send anything, it would have to be paratroopers. Yes, that most likely is Andy. Andy's a great guy. If it is indeed Andy, then he's a great guy. Or if it's indeed a different Andy, then he's also a great guy. But here we are then. So obviously over here at Singapore, fatigue's still going down. The 18th still has a hell of a lot. The 5th has a hell of a lot. So we are going to have to wait for the 38th to arrive, which obviously we knew about. Still awaiting those guys. How many LCUs does he have on this Xinjiang line? Whereabouts is Xinjiang? Is that in China or is that in Burma? They'll go with Andy Mac. Would I say Andy is watch the Dadman campaign? I do suffer more, but at least it's more proficient. Oh well, we're catching up in this campaign. Very, very far behind, but at least we now have a knowledge. We've had the experience learnt and gained where we can actually try and pull things back, which is a challenge all of itself there, really. But indeed, so we are recovering over here, which is good. I do have a headquarters moving from Johor Bahru into Singapore as well, so that will allow us to actually increase the amount of fatigue and disruption actually dissipated each turn, increases the amount of support as well. Hex south of Pagoon. Right, okay. It's suggesting that about 2 units. I think I had seen a suggestion of movement. There's 6 units over here at Pegu, which is intriguing. There's 11 over here at Rangoon itself. I do feel that something dodgy is going on. I feel like he's becoming increasingly confident about his position over here in Burma, which does make me feel glad, but I do have additional TIE units moved to this position. We are building up fortifications here at Mulmian, nearly at level 2, but I do importantly have additional TIE forces on the way. That's another TIE division element. Behind it is a couple more TIE forces there, another 293 AV. Yes, what I'm trying to do is actually get a decent amount of AV there. There is a house rule in this game that I can only have the TIE forces move 3 hexes out of their national borders. So of course the TIE forces are going to be handy over here. And if we take the border over here, that's 3 hexes, so I could use them for Rangoon, which is handy. And Pegu and Rangoon are undefendable. Sitiang Bridge is the only defendable hex in southern Burma. Yeah, is it clear terrain at Burma? Rangoon, sorry. Yeah, it's not ideal. He likely will try to make something of a stand here. He might be reliant upon his position over here at Pegu. But clear terrain is not exactly ideal. And what I do envision doing is, when we do actually have access to the Indian Ocean, what I'll be doing is set up AKEs and, I don't know, bases around this area. What I'll have to do is obviously establish aerial supremacy. But if he does park his forces over here, or especially over here at Pegu, what I'll do is I'll just bombard them, really. It was good to actually get some of the shipping over here. It does send a message that he's going to have to defend that shipping in a different way, or more than he recently, well, might have actually considered in the past, which is good news. We do have our forces over here at Palembang. You need to shock attack to cross into Sitiang. Yes, due to the river, in fact, yes. Which is something I'd like to try and avoid, but we'll see how he reacts there. What I'd like to do is try and land Japanese forces at Pegu, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a little while before we do have that ability there, really. Right, okay. So we do have these forces over here at Palembang then, so you can see fatigue's not too bad here. Disruption's not too bad at all, really. That's, it's about expected, really. It's really the combat units that we have to take into consideration, such as the 124th, the 16th, and the Yokosuka 2nd SLF. There is the Kois over here. They do have some AV there with infantry squads, which is not too bad. We're probably in decent shape to actually attack again. I'd imagine we could probably get away with a third attack, I think it would be. He does have the submarines over here. We did see PT boats, which is rather intriguing. It is surprising that he did actually go for these guys, because there's 2 really critically damaged ships over here. Hey, doing that, Lewis? Good to have you, my friend. And what's happening with Port Moresby at this moment in time? Indeed, we'll go ahead and check over at Moresby. Sorry, not being clear. You don't want him to evac. Right, okay, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. When I do have the TIE forces in strength at Mulmian, then we can actually take a look into doing that. That becomes a pretty realistic consideration, then. Yeah, armor's going to be a difficult one because we do have the majority of the armor deployed in China, but a lot of that armor is attached to Southern Army or is independent, so we can have that moved out of China in the near future. So over here, then at Port Moresby, I do have a bombardment force on the way. So we do have 4 heavy cruisers then, so the Takao, the Otago, the Mogami, and Makuma. They're not too far out. They should arrive during the daytime to bombard there. Okay. The 56 is looking good. They've had some additional time to recover, so they're 23 fatigue, some disruption. We do have supply here enough to attack, which is good news. I think we can attack. I'm going to try to coincide that with the bombardment. He does definitely still have problems there. You can see there's 93 airfield damage, 64 port damage. He's not going to have any fortifications. I don't know how much supply he's going to have. We did have some hits against actual supply there at Port Moresby, but I don't know how much damage that would actually do to the supply situation at Port Moresby. But we'll have to see about that. Obviously, we're going to have to give these guys some air cover to make sure they do make it through. But the situation at Port Moresby is untenable for him, really. There's really not much he can do about that. It's not a good position. But then again, Port Moresby is not really worth that much in the long run anyway. Yes, it is on the southern tip of New Guinea, but it's not the be-all, end-all. We're not exactly looking towards an Australian invasion, but if he believes that we are, then that's good news. I mean, misinformation is really one of the tenets of warfare, so I'm alright with that. I would like to build up bases over here, though, in this area. That's going to be a new project in the near future. In the near future, not new. Okay. So over here at Ley, then, we're expanding the airfield still, moving towards the level 4. Gazmata, we moved up to a level 2 airfield over here. We do have significantly more engineers. We do have a good concentration of engineers in this area. The good news is, once we have these bases finished off, and obviously once I have these bases up to the desired level, then I will be able to move these engineers out. What I'd like to do as well is bring some transportation aircraft down to either Rabal or even Leh, to whichever base we feel is probably best utilised, and have them flown to different bases here for essentially risk-free movement. Paul Moresby's vital to Japan, it slows down his counterattack until he takes it. That's true. That's a true point. I mean, this is it. I'm not discounting the value of Port Moresby, and I'm not saying that from a position of, oh, it's not worth taking it. It is worth taking it as Japan, but I don't think it's a be-all, end-all base for the Allies. It does represent a built-up base there at New Guinea that the Allies would definitely like to hold on to, but I don't consider it the be-all, end-all. But no, that's a good point there, Andy. That was a good point indeed. Okay, so regarding New Caledonia, and that's been built up. I would like to build up this area. So we have 7 there. We are making some progress over here. It's going to be a long while before this gets built up. I don't think he'd ever really... I don't know. The question comes down to, would he invade New Caledonia? Possibly. I don't think he ever would. I think it's one of those island bases they probably like to bypass. And the beauty about New Caledonia, and specifically Noumea, is the fact that we do have some light industry. So it does allow us to continue to not supply them, but at least try and placate them. I mean, this is it. If we weren't using much supply, then at least that's a little bit extra. It really allows us to elongate our time between resupply at New Caledonia, which is nice. God, I did a lot of talking there. I did a lot of talking. Let the breath back in. We do have a heavy cruiser, Kinigusa, over here. I'm more or less keeping Kinigusa over here as a potential threat. It's not really going to be employed in surface battle unless it's a battle that it can win. I'm a little bit surprised that it doesn't actually have intelligence about New Caledonia. I would have thought he might have been flying PBYs, which seems not at this moment in time. We are seeing a lot of ships over here at Rebel Island. I mean, light cruisers is pretty wild. Yeah, obviously I need to back away from Rebel Island, but that gives us some information there I can make use of. With it, he will base P-38s. Yeah, P-38s are pretty nasty. Okay, you made a good argument there for Port Moresby's importance there, Andy, and I will take that on board. I will be taking it in the short term anyway, so that's good for us. Okay. As we do have a combined fleet, that is moving out towards Nauru Island, I believe it is. Oh, they're moving towards Ocean Island. The issue is I don't have an ideal port for them, so I'm going to have them move into Ocean Island so I can have them await the BBs so we can begin the campaign against the Fiji Islands. It's not going to be an ideal campaign. I would have preferred to bring forces down here, well, brought forces down here so we can actually invade the islands. But probably regarding Fiji, especially regarding the way in which he's actually built it up, I'd imagine we'd probably need at least 2 divisions at a minimum. A 3rd and a 4th division would be nice, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. But the thing that I can do is I can bring AKEs down here, establish a position at Savai, which we handily do have, use the carriers to establish local dominance in the air, and then bring the BBs to bombard Pego first of all, reduce it to impotence, really. I think of all bases, that one could probably be taken due to the fact that I could just park BBs here and keep bombarding until we just destroyed his forces there. Suverenadi could be reduced by bombardment, which is good. We'll have to see how the situation looks. I really don't have a great deal of information regarding this area, so it will be rather intriguing. You need to think of range of LBA in early 1943. The Japanese still have carrier supremacy, and Allied LBA is the key weapon, but at short range, stopping him and getting him support airbase is key. No, that's a good point though regarding the P-17s and other LBAs. That's a good point. He did employ B-17s down here, and he has seemed to... he's given up on that for some reason. I can understand why. He was inflicting damage, but it's like at what cost? And it's not something he really could do a great deal about there. And doesn't that stretch your supply lines pretty thin? Well, that's the beauty of the AKEs. We can bring all that with us, essentially. But is Fiji even worth the effort using and risking 2 divisions? Well, this is it. It's all contextual. I mean, Fiji is nice because of the victory points. But beyond that, Fiji doesn't really mean that much to us. Taking it and denying it to him would be nice, but yeah. We're not in a position to bring divisions here anyway, so it's one of those where its capture is out of question for the time being. But we can definitely bombard the airfields, we can definitely bombard the ports, we can turn a lot of his actual expenditure and investment in these islands into naught, really. Yes, B-17s need supply, that's good news. I mean, this is it. The amount of forces he's brought to this area. We've had brief indications in the past that he has brought a great deal. He has obviously built up quite a lot of forces over here at Fiji. And he seems to continue to do so. He seems to place a lot of emphasis on these islands, which I can understand, because he's going to see these as his forward defense. The issue is I could bypass them, and, well, I don't know, they're not really doing him any good, that's the thing. He seems to be worried that we are looking towards invading Australia and New Zealand, and I think that's probably one thing that we're going to have to try and encourage in him, really. And just try and present a credible misinformation campaign that we are, yes, oh yes, we're gunning for Australia. In reality, no, we're not. It's not going to happen. There we go. Let's see. So we can Rabal. So I do have a whole bunch of... It's actually quite funny because I was doing the exact same thing in the Dadman campaign, literally the same sort of time frame. So I forgot that this was actually happening here. And it brings a little bit of additional supply, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, that's 981 supply. That's not too bad at all. I can make use of that. But these construction units will be welcome. And I will have to get these guys moved out. I don't need all of these engineers here, but obviously I will have engineers needed elsewhere. But for the time being, okay, we'll put them to work. There's currently only 24, so that's going to be a great influx of engineers. I will be looking forward to that. So they've just arrived. As an ally player, Christmas Island and Fiji are key because they have no stacking limits and great resupply routes for South Pacific indeed. Yeah, see, I'd like to do something out here at the Lion Islands. I've always fancied something at the Lion Islands. We do have an indication that Christmas Island is mined. Palmyra, I'm not... I don't think it is mined. We did do a bombardment run over here at Palmyra, but it didn't seem to have any indication of mines. We might not have actually detected them. But Palmyra and Christmas Island, the Lion Islands in general, they're much more likely than Fiji to be invaded, really. Pego might be doable with bombardment, but we'll see. So taking Fiji is a threat. I'm trying to understand what that means, AT, and I'm at a loss, bud. I'm at a loss, bud. You're gonna have to explain that one to me. Okay. So we're still doing fine over here in the Dutch East Indies. We're just trying to get to that position now where we can actually make a proper move. He does have intelligence over this force. Ah, right, okay. Okay. They have arrived. The good news is I can actually have them shipped out and moved along. Same turn. Well, more or less same turn. Obviously, I'll take it today, well, tomorrow, load them up, and then we can get them moving. He's moving these allied forces from Zamboanga, but the issue is, obviously, it's going to take a long time. There's no roads there. It's all jungle rough. It's going to take him a seriously long time. By the time he even arrives over here, I could actually move forces to this base and capture that base via amphibious means. We didn't do too bad over here at Kagain. Obviously, Kagain has presented a great lesson to us in how to actually conduct ourselves in the future campaigns, which is why we have definitely not entered into Mindanao the way that we did in this campaign, in the Dadman campaign, which is nice. But that went well enough. I mean, there's fatigue and disruption, but that's okay. I can recover that. There's still 4k supply here. I don't imagine his supply situation is great. I have been considering as well, once Singapore does fall, I think what we'll have to do then is obviously make an effort for Rangoon. That's going to be required. But I do consider potentially, possibly after Rangoon, possibly depending on how things go, maybe after Java is conquered, bringing forces to Bataan to try and free up Bataan. Bataan will eventually starve out, but it is going to take a time. It's going to take a long time. And obviously I'd like to try and speed that up if we can. Optimize and PT bonus to protect the bases. 24th, 25th, 40th, and 27th US divisions committed to defense. Right, okay. Makes sense. We have our forces unloading over here with the 11th JAF base force over here, which I can move then into Manila. Let's go ahead and check on the operations report then. So the Isle of Pines is ours, which is always handy. Right, these assets being moved out. I think there's a couple assets I was wanted to head back to Japan with. The I-175 is actually in the ARD truck. How's your airplane research going? In this game, it's a thing. It's not as I would prefer to do it, but this is it. When I did start the campaign, I really did not understand how the R&D factor worked within the actual game. I didn't understand how to structure it or really what to aspire towards. So I did have a very awesome person come in and give me a hand. It's just one of these things of night. Now in retrospect, I can see places where I would like to change it. We will try and change what we can, but a lot of the things we're kind of stuck with for the time being due to the supply expenditure and also due to the time passing on. It's not too bad. It's not incompetent, it's just not obviously as I would prefer. The one I prefer is in the Dadman campaign. There's a K. VP loss is what I'm interested in. I'm reducing that. These will be gone soon. But they should have been gone a long time ago, but they're being sorted out. The AVD child is reported to have been sunk near BLeAcHACiD. I don't even remember that one. That was on January 5th. Okay. Historical start. Something like that. If you want to scare HG, a few Manchurian divisions prepping for bases in New Zealand and Australia. Yeah, that's true. Doesn't he get that on the magic intercepts? That would be rather amusing, in fact. That's a good idea. Andy playing the double agent. This has been a pain. I cannot wait to deal with this unit over here. Because this has been a monstrous pain. No, that's good to know, actually. I'm going to actually take that into consideration in both campaigns, in fact. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Okay. I'm surprised he hasn't moved this force at all. He's kept it stationary, which is surprising. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all, really. So I can try and surround that. It's easier said than done to surround anything in China. But that's not too bad. Yeah, planning for China. Sorry, planning for Hawaii. That's not a bad idea. Okay, Shanghai is up with garrison requirements, which is good. Okay. So take a look at the R&D plan then. Yes, it was previously that I didn't feel that the R&D jump plan was... I used to feel like it was gamey. I don't feel like that anymore. But obviously due to that earlier choice, obviously we have things set up as they are. We're not too far away from the A6M3, and then I obviously can move it onto the A6M5. We'll be able to make some progress there quite quickly. It's just obviously getting to that point at which we can actually make that progress. But 22 is not too bad at all, really. That's not too far from being done. These 6M1s. I'm looking forward to having the D4Y1Cs. Very much so. One has definitely made a lot of progress. Tojo's aren't too far away, but historical data isn't too far. Helen's will be nice. Peggy's, yeah, okay. Frank's, yeah, looking forward to those. Yeah, there's a lot of aircraft. Obviously, would change things around this time. Lysander, okay. That's good to know. Yeah, likely invasion spots is not a bad thing to target. Not a bad idea. Right, so how's the fuel situation over here then? I did have a couple of torpedo boats actually merge into here as well last turn. Well, during this turn, which is nice. Sendai is complaining about the lack of fuel, but she should be able to make it to Palembang. I could go ahead and look actually attacking Palembang this turn. I think we're probably in a good spot to attack it. Our French frigate Shoal, that's not a bad idea in fact. No, we will not produce the A6M3. What we'll do then is we'll skip towards the A6M5 and then move towards A6M8 really. That's what we're going to have to move towards. Okay. 27, 30, 25. I'd have to take a look at what it was in the previous turn, in fact. It seems alright to consider an attack. It might be worthwhile potentially waiting another day, giving them a little bit more chance to rest. And the good news is we do have 22nd Air Flotilla here, which, not a proper headquarters as we would like, not like an actual army headquarters, but at least it does bring a little bit of support. There is the Command Radius 1. I do not know if it actually impacts on ground forces. I don't think it would do, as this is an air HQ. Not ideal, but at least it does bring some support, which is nice. Oh yeah, the radar. We do well, we can have actual radar, but it's when it activates. Oh, I can't remember. It's not for a while as of yet. Not for a while. Which is not ideal. Okay. Those are destined to head into Palembang. The thing is, once Palembang falls, once Singapore falls, that's when the campaign really opens up. Early 44, yeah. Is that when it is? Yeah, I knew it wasn't any time sooner. Okay, attack there. I need the garrison in here. We've repaired most of the damage, but it was rather annoying to see the damage there at Bangkok at all, really. I'm quite glad that the Port Blair situation hasn't deteriorated yet further. That's not bad. I can probably recover that situation fairly well. Okay. Right, okay. We have our assets over here then. There's a lot of actual forces I do need to pick up over here. I do have a lot of APs. A lot of these other forces as well. I was considering potentially using the cruisers and potentially having them patrol beyond here. We know that he has, tankers moving out of this area. Now, speaking of assets beyond into the Indian Sea, do we have any detection? Not right now. Oh, right, that's interesting. Right, not seeing detection over the submarines, which is not exactly a good sign. It's not a bad sign because, well, it doesn't seem like he's in this area. It does seem as if he's headed for Perth. It seems like he might be bringing the actual US and carrier groups and potentially even the British carriers around Australia again. It does seem like he's intent on coming back to this area, which, okay. I mean, it did sting over here at Singapore, but it just seems like a... I'm not criticising. I have been called out for apparently criticising him. I just don't think it was worthwhile. Yes, he inflicted a lot of damage against our light bombers, but it's like at what cost? I don't know if it was worthwhile. We haven't done that much to really ensure that it stings, but it's more so... Sometimes the actual fort... What's the phrase? I can't remember what the phrase is. The threat is worse than the slap. I can't remember what the phrase is. Somebody will know what I'm talking about. Okay. There's not a whole lot for me to actually do right now. Hey, doing that, Big Duck? Good to have you, my friend. One of my lovely, lovely patrons. Got your name in there as well. Got your name there. So I'm quite happy about that. Okay. So we do have 35th Division here. They're currently resting and training. They're acting currently as the interim garrison. I do need to gain additional forces out here. So 32nd wasn't in the correct movement mode. So it wasn't in the correct operational mode. Okay. Right. Well, what I'm going to do here then... No, not that one penguin dude. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, that submarine was incredible. Jesus Christ. That was incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Right. Now, there's really not that much for me to do right now. I then can go in combat mode. I can move these coys out of China. What is the best strategy for submarines separating hexes? Separate works best because you have more chances to actually try and intercept. What you'd imagine that each of these hexes is 40 nautical miles. So having two submarines in the same task force is like two submarines over here. But if you had two separate submarine task forces, you might have one here and one here. So that's kind of how it works. Okay. Not so bad so far, then. Ambon's a bit of a tricky one. I'm going to have to bring additional assets to Ambon. It's not a threat, but obviously it's one of those I need to actually get rid of. Yes, the Nanyang Massacre, that's not a bad name for it. That was nice. That was actually surprising, to be honest. I didn't think we'd get that attack there, but that's actually quite good. The good news is a lot of those forces are going to have a whole hell of a lot of fatigue and disruption now, so that should slow them down. I think what I'm going to have to take a look at, and we do have a lot of actual search assets over here. That's in fact a lot. I do have my light bombers over here. They don't have range 6. Some of them might do, but I could probably transfer them to Hankow, or potentially to another base along the rail line. Start bombing them. He still has a lot of fighters over here at Chungking, which is interesting. Aye. There's a lot of ways we can potentially deal with his air power at Rangoon, and a lot of them really require Singapore to have fallen, really. And the good news is once Singapore falls, then at least I can actually make do with that. Your optimism would make Tokyo proud. Come on, Duke, it's been a good turn. Let me have the turn. Let me have it. Yeah, there's a lot of reconnaissance in China. A lot of that I could probably do with moving out. Right, so we do have the MKB moving over here. Likely going to have MKB or potentially other assets moving out. Yes, we do have a lot of that in China. We'd have to take a look at where these could be moved out. Something could be moved out. A lot of it isn't really required. As I said, there's a lot of legacy decisions over here, and a lot of them that we haven't quite touched as yet. It would be nice to get them moved out, I do agree. That silver one could be moved out, no problem. Though it does have its utilities. It does have its uses. Okay. What's Kitabatai and Baby Kitabatai up to these days? Well, we have 3 Kitabatais. We have the self-named Combined Fleet, which is over here, which represents the main strength of the Kitabatais, which you could call all the modern strength of Kitabatai. So we have the carriers Hiru, Solu, Shakaku, Zuikaku, which are moving towards Ocean Island to link up with the BBs on their way out that way. I can probably... I'll have a refuel at Ocean Island. I do need more fuel down in the area of South Pacific. There is a bit of a shortage on that at this moment in time. I have built up truck again to about 45k units, but I do need more. Right, we have amphibious over here. That's only just arrived. So these were the forces that were previously down in New Caledonia, in fact. That's good. The sub-commander would get a medal, so much determination. Yeah. Oh, God. That was incredible. I've never seen it that bad. You'd have to make up a really good excuse, wouldn't you? My snake's named hero. That's pretty awesome. Can we see the unrestricted army land unit screen? Would like to see where your big divisions are, indeed. Well, I can give you a quick rundown. We do have a couple of divisions over here, 18th Imperial Guard, 48th, 21st. More divisions I would have liked, but then again, this has obviously been a campaign where we've had to learn the hard way. But as the divisions there's 38th Division at Mersing, there is 2 divisions over here at Bataan. We have too many divisions tied up, which is not exactly ideal. Then I was kind of crazy with a lot of divisions. Can I actually reform a 4th division in 4 today? It should be viable today. Ops mode. Good, right, okay, so I've been able to reform the 4th division. It's been a long time since the 4th division has been formed, so that's good. So we have 4th division in position now, which is good. I do have 56th division down here at Moresby. Other 3 divisions, I don't really think we have many that are actually free like that. So let's see then. Ground units. Infantry, IGA. Unrestricted. Clark? Oh, you're thinking of a Dadman campaign. Yes, Clark is already ours in this campaign, which is good. So we have Johabaru, Bataan, BLeAcHACiD. BLeAcHACiD? Oh, yes, BLeAcHACiD, okay. For some reason, I thought it was Barbadwan. And Bataan, Singapore, Port Moresby, Singapore. That's pretty much... There we go. Yes, I'm trying to reform 65th. We have a lot of AV, we have a lot of LCUs that are spread out across the map, which is just intolerable. There's a division, I think it's the 2nd division, which is just crazy all over. Your fighter pilots in the Dutch East Indies, Malaya, are all knackered and very tired. Well, yes, they are going to have some rest, actually. So, no, that is definitely something I wanted to give them anyhow. It was nice to take down those allied fighters. It does actually imply... Well, it sends a message that he's going to have to defend his forces in a different way now. Ideally, it will make him a little bit more paranoid than he has previously been. Ideally, it will put a little bit more fear into him than he's previously held, which is good. But yes, I do agree that they do need to rest that fatigue. I was worried about the fatigue beforehand, so that has confirmed it to a degree. Yeah, I mean, this is it. When I compare it to... I mean, if I take a look over here, then... It's when I compare it to the Danban campaign. This is a plug for the Danban campaign, by the way. Watch it. I'm not finished with Return yet. I will be finishing it today. But this is it. It's like in the Danban campaign, also things are significantly different. Obviously, it's the 4th of January now. We have the key bases. We're getting ready to actually move upon Java. Singapore's almost dealt with. Malaya's, well, nearly finished. Bataan, I mean, Luzon, has 4 divisions of brigade. Things are going well in that campaign. It's been a bloody tough campaign, but it's going well. We have significantly more of the bases that we would need much earlier, which is nice. Okay, can you show the arrival dates for new land units? Yes, I can, young sir. Group reinforcements. So, days until arrival. I think the Allies can reinforce Rangoon quicker from India than you can in terms of air forces. No, not really. He can have a lot of air power. The issue is he doesn't have the production. He doesn't have the capacity to have as many trained pilots as we can. This campaign is going to be harder, but we do have the capacity to train more, which is good. He can definitely have a training campaign of his own. I don't know if he has one or not. Which is probably best to assume that he does. But we can produce aircraft at a higher rate, so that's a good thing. I think as far as it goes regarding Rangoon, I think probably what I would probably do is possibly look at using like naval assets and try and draw out his cap. But if he doesn't move it, I could even potentially go in there for bombardment. But say River Hex, it would be pretty nasty. Likely mined as well, so it'd be very nasty. What I'd like to do is just try and hit Pegu, try and get the forces there to Rangoon. Going fast is not always a good thing. It costs you resources. Allied air power is a glass cannon, indeed. Regarding that, Andy, yes. It was going very well until we had some inadvertent accidents with the MKB and a lot of British cruisers. But, well, this is it. We've learned a lesson. Ship dates? Yeah, sure. As we have 68th Sentai arrival in the K-27s over here, 92nd Sentai with new Salis. The Salis are going to come in quite handy, actually. We did have a lot of losses to the Salis due to early mistakes in the campaign, so it's nice to have new ones. E5M4s, we have some new zeros coming in on Shiba, 20 days against NKUS. Nice. You don't get many zero squadrons, in fact. Even if you don't win in the air, you will inevitably march on Rangoon by land. Well, this is it. It's one of those where it's just not a tenable position. It's not ideal for us, but it's one of those positions where it's just not great for him either. We'll see. Yeah, no. Oh, Andy. Things just went wrong there, didn't they, bud? They just went wrong. I think what we're going to have to do is fire the captain of the Fuso. The Fuso is just not in the right position. Just not in the right frame of mind. I'm going to have to send the captain of the Fuso over for some... for some sensitivity training, because... The captain then of Fuso just, oh god, let us down so many times. But Dadman playing very well. Very, very well. But the good news is, at least in that campaign, we have managed to, so far, save Shoho, so there's still flexibility that can be held onto, which is good. Okay. Japanese cannot win an air war over Rangoon? Yes, they can. We can win an air war. You've got to think, their Duke, he does not have the amount of aircraft that we do. He can fight for Rangoon, but it's a case of, well, okay, we can produce more aircraft, we can train more pilots in time. It's not a position he wants to die on, really. It's not where he wants to plant his flag and die. Because it's one of those, we're going to treat him. He would be ground out by attrition, essentially. It's just not good for him. I mean, if I take a look, so, aircraft, I mean, we're not up to full production speed in this campaign yet, nor in both campaigns as at this moment. But the A6M2, whereabouts is it? Right, there we go. So I'm producing there. Yeah, so we're roughly building here, give or take 4 zeros a day. Also, that's going to be increasing yet more. Well, this is it. It's like we can build them. Like, we lost technically a few days of production of A6M2 zeros, but 3-4 days and they're rebuilt. He does have a reinforcement pool of aircraft, but it's not inexhaustible. It's not one of those where he really wants to fight for it. So he's inevitably going to lose it. In your opinion, what do you think your worst mistake has been so far in both campaigns? Well, attempting the Mersing Gambit was really rough, but then again, it's like, I didn't realise. It was quite funny, actually. I wasn't initially going to strafe at Pearl Harbor, but then I remember reading this AAR, and they had a lot of good success. But it turns out there was an earlier version, and things apparently had changed since then. And the strafing really set me back there. Probably running the carriers at full speed around this area. A big thing as well was misunderstanding of the house rules initially. Like, initially in the campaign start, I thought that no hunting of USCVs meant just... I don't know how long that time was. I thought it was like a week, a month, or something like that. I just didn't know how long that time was, that period. I wasn't realized it was just like not the first day. I think you underestimate how much you face in Burma, dude, especially as you are very soon going to face a counterattack in the Pacific. The counterattack in the Pacific is going to be... okay. I mean, okay, I'll take that. That's fine. We have the advantage of land bases. The thing is, I can have the carriers fight without even having the carriers here, essentially. I could have their aircraft offloaded to these bases if I so wish to do so, and just fly about. I mean, okay. It's not exactly built up yet, but it's still in a position where I could use it, which I'm happy with. In Burma's going to be a question of just getting the actual amount of forces in position. I've not saved a turn yet. I will do that, I know. You are like my guardian angel. Okay. I'm not saying that Burma's going to be easy. It's going to be far harder due to the fact that he's had significantly more time to prepare. Lovely account. Yeah, well, as Andy says, it's like, okay. It's like, okay, bring it. Oh, dear. Yeah, well, that's it, exactly. It would be nice to not be the aggressor. I would agree on that one. Okay, so we do have a heavy artillery moving towards Singapore. I imagine Singapore's probably going to take about 2 more attacks with the 38th. It does depend. But yeah, probably the biggest mistake was having the Mersing Gambit go so badly. But this was it. It was just not understanding how threat tolerance worked. It was before that point I had no idea about threat tolerance. It was after when I learned about threat tolerance the hard way. But that's it. You got to learn the lessons. It's like THG is a great player. When we did begin the campaign, I had significantly less experience than THG because this was my very first by email campaign. Before that, I only played against the AI. I've never done that bloody well. So for the Burman attack, first northeast and then go west, finish in Rangoon. Yes, we do have a great opportunity regarding the roads over here, which is very nice. This is it. Essentially, you could potentially land here at Rangoon and march to the north as the road that joins here, or you could even potentially move here and then march here. It would take some time, but at least it could be done. There's a few ways we could move around in Burma, which is quite nice. Identify where he has placed his 18th British Division, 6th Australian Division, 7th Australian Division. It's key to knowing how... yes, it's key to knowing those his most powerful units. I'm not entirely sure where those units are, but we'll have to definitely check on that. Singapore should hold out for at least 3 more delivery attacks. Potentially so. Potentially so. He's got a lot of forces there. He has got a lot of forces. But he is reaching a critical point, which is good now. There's a lot of power here. Not as much as I would like. But we are reaching the finality. It's gonna come to an end. Honestly, it should have been there much sooner, but hey, it's coming to an end, so I'm fine with that. Naval invade behind Burma. And that's a serious consideration. I do think what we'd have to do then to approach the situation in Burma is begin... And we have Mulmian, which is good. What I'm going to have to do is secure bases like Mulmian. I mean, Port Blair, obviously I would like to have Port Blair to give us 2 bases there. But I don't especially need Port Blair. I think we can still take it. I'm intrigued that he hasn't attacked at Port Blair, which indicates a nice bit of things for us. But all of this really resolves around taking Singapore. Once Singapore's gone, that does open up a lot for us. But yeah, I mean, this is it. See, there's air bases like this which you could potentially use, just like to station aircraft out to allow us to cover invasions deeper into the area. Yeah, there's anti-saves there, especially. Japanese forces in Malaya will largely be wrecked by the time Singapore falls. But they're not wrecked. I know you've only started playing there, Andrew, and I'm really glad that you have started playing, which is excellent. It doesn't take that long to recover them, really, especially at large bases, especially when they have a lot of support there. It's not going to take that long. Like, the 48th is in great shape, 21st is in good shape, the 18th is in good shape, 5th Division's still in decent shape. Those disabled elements can be recovered. Imperial Guard Division will take some time to recover. But that's to be expected. It was the division that crossed first, and there was a hell of a lot of AV there. Yeah, it just takes them some time to recover, really. The infantry regiments got more due to the fact that they are smaller formations, really. Excuse me. Port Blair is a waste if it falls easily after Rangoon. Don't fragment your attacks. Yep, no, I agree there. I would have taken Port Blair, but I forgot to put them into combat mode. Like a bloody fool. Great attack on Nanyang. Woof. Yeah, I know, that was pretty nasty, but that was like open terrain. Really nasty there. Okay. I don't think there's all that much I can talk about right now, really. I don't think there's a whole lot... Indeed, concentrate. Indeed. No, I don't think there's really that much for us to talk about at this moment in time. It's gone fairly well. There's just a lot of little things we're doing. Do you still have that unit? No, I finally got rid of that. That was, yeah, that's going to be one of the big mistakes there as well. That unit has finally returned to civilization. My god, that was a journey and a half. I bet those guys are thinking, what the hell happened? It's like going back in time. Yeah, crazy. Can you show the status of Midway? I'm still intrigued as to as to Midway. So it had like 20 odd damage and then it just repaired really, really quickly, which was amazing. Supreme Leader. You mean Supreme Farce. What? Yes, Midway's alright. I'm slowly building up some fortifications. It's going to take a long while because there's only 4 engineers, but if I can get any level of fortification at Midway, I'm quite happy with that, really. Yeah. No, it's not too bad. One big thing that I'm trying to do here is I'm going to try to reorganize the submarine arm. That's going to take some time to reorganize all that. At least then we can actually have it out there being far more effective, really. We're not too far away from the fall of Port Moresby, which is nice. I mean, Port Moresby is inevitably going to fail. I like it. I'm an Englishman. But I'm also an Englishman. You've got 2 reasons to like me. Yorkshireman, Northern. Come on, about English as it gets. Probably, I don't know. Not Southern. Southerners. Oh dear. Yeah, we need to have like some sort of meetup post-apocalypse. Okay. Two pieces of advice given across the sport, deployed in key Japanese... Yep, okay. Yep. No, you're absolutely right about Andy. Absolutely right. And these are the lessons that we have been able to put together in the Dadman campaign, really. Minus points have been Norman. I like that. No, I absolutely agree. Obviously, we've learned the lessons regarding Singapore and regarding Bataan, really. 1/16th Yorkshire. Never go further than X6. Oh dear. Oh dear. No, but I think we'll call it about here and then. I know it feels short, but sometimes I feel like I'm just like wasting people's time, really. Because it's not all that much that can be done. And a lot of it just sometimes just needs a little bit of time just to digest, really. And it gives you guys time as well to just like have your thoughts and obviously think of something, really. Oh, that's really cool. Awesome. That's good to see some pride there, Duke. Fantastic. Yep, so if you guys do want to have your own input on the campaign, go ahead and join the Discord. My Discord is probably linked below. And let me know if you'd like to join in the Japanese chat, the Allied chat, or the Observer chat, which can see both rooms but cannot participate in either, beyond reading them. But there we go. Yes, thank you very much. I shall see you guys in the future. I'm going to say a big thank you to my current viewers here. Thank you very much there. And I'm going to say a big thank you to my lovely patrons. So thank you very much there, Alex, Dilgen, Grady, Mr. Baines, BLeAcHACiD, Deepicduck, Dingobat4, Erkkijuusto, Erkkijuusto, Fon4123, George Kilgore, Gregory VanHouten, Iceycrome, Imperator Thrawn, James Lindsay, KO, Loluba, Ove, Cato, Borsheim, paradigmblue, Paul Sanders, Raphael, Rick Chambers, Ricky Blinson, spacht, Stanislav, SunYan, Susana, and Daniel, Tan1DE, The Forgotten, Thunder, and Lindholm. Thank you so much there, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are fantastic. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. Wait turn on a turn, so... Ah, well, there you go, Andy. We'll have to play a game in the future there, Andy. We'll have to play a game, hey? No, thank you very much there, guys. I hope you all are having a great time. Apologies for being so tongue-tied. I think it happens more and more lately. I don't know. Sometimes we have great days, sometimes we have bad days. This is apparently one of my bad days. But it's been great to have you all here. Until next time, remember the actions of the spearfish and try not to imitate them. Goodbye for now. See you in future episodes. Tenno Heika Banzai. Iceycrome. Yeah, sayonara. Goodbye for now. See you later, guys.